All right, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Kwam1 People's Parliament. I'm Christian Chair, otherwise known as Due Process. Tonight on Kwam1 People's Parliament, I welcome with me in the studio a number of dignitaries who have joined us live via Zoom. I have Mr. John Agbonifo in the studio. I also have Mr. Comrade Sunday, they graduate from Kwara State, and of course, Mr. John Agbonifo is joining us all the way from Edo State. I also have in the Zoom a number of guests, some of them are joining us for the first time. I have Pastor Paul Isaac, all the way from Nassau State, and a couple of other guests in the studio. So please, thank you for joining us. I remain Mr. Christian Oche, and I welcome you to Kwam1 People's Parliament, where we dissect socio-political issues as they affect the Nigerian people. Comrade Sunday, I don't know, are you available to read out today's episode and the trending stories for tonight's discussion? Do you have Comrade available? Oh, it was lockdowns. Comrade, can you confirm to hear me now? Comrade, are you available? Okay, tonight we'll be looking at the the airport scenario, the drama that is unfolding in Nigerian airports, where we have it has been tagged as Kwam1 Kwam2, according to the Gen Z generation across the social media platform, where K1, otherwise known as Kwam1, was seen to resist a plane from moving. As a matter of fact, he stood on the way of the plane and he tried all this possible to stop the plane from moving. That was about 3 days ago. And just yesterday, we had another scenario where a lady in Ibom Air was also found resisting aircraft personnel in attempt to find a way or have a way in the airport which was restricted, and she resorted to violence attack against the airport officials. And at the end of it all, we had a very brutal situation that led to the expel of the lady from the airport. She was asked to, she was arrested, dragged out of the airport, visibly in a viral video gone viral, and the rest is the story. Just today, again, we heard that the lady was taken to court by Ibom Air, and she has been sentenced to, remand in Kirikiri prison. Very fast judgment, one would say. But Kwam1 that started the loggerheads at the airport is still moving freely. Before I go on with the discussion tonight, let me hand over the mic to Brother Sunday Degbe, all the way from Kwara State, to assist us with some of the headlines that we have for tonight. Comrade, are you available now?
Yes, sorry for the network. I was having some network challenge.
Yes, please.
Yeah, an episode. Kwam1 and Kwam2, same country, same offenses, different punishments. Trending stories. 1. Kwam1 gets VIP treatment, and God endorses apologies, while Kwam2 goes to Kirikiri in less than 24 hours. 2. 2027, and we end corruption in 1 month. Amechi. 3. Nigerians campaigning for me are not campaigning. Nigeria campaigning for me are campaigning for themselves. Peter Obi. Akpabio heads for an emergency London hospital. Number 5. Kwam1 dragged ADC to the court of public opinion.
Yes.
Those are the others.
Thank you, Comrade Sunday, all the way from Kwara State, for reading out the headlines for tonight's discussion. With me in the studio is a number of guests that have joined us to have this discussion, and I will throw the mic open. These are some of the items that we're considering, but before then, let me share a background of the story. We had like 3 days ago where Kwam1, otherwise known as K1, was found resisting a plane. He stood in the front of a plane, denying her of moving. And the airport had to maneuver the way one way or the other, trying to move, but he stood firmly until he turned out rowdy and was excused from the tarmac. Again, instead of government taking action as it ought to be, the law taking its course, because that act is an act of terror, it's an act of terrorism. Trying to stop a plane, hijacking a plane is an act of terrorism. But then we had Abike Dabiri, the Nigerian diaspora representative, making a case for K1, tendering his apology and sorry. There is no ignorance in the face of law, and there is no emotion in the face of law. K1 has committed a punishable offense that the court of competent jurisdiction should have taken over the matter. The police should have arrested K1, get him prosecuted in the court of law. But then, as usual, tribalism has eaten deep into the Nigerian system to the extent that government officials that are supposed to raise the eyebrow against such indiscipline and uncultured behavior of K1 were seen tendering his apology on his behalf. Then just yesterday, there was a similar scenario where Ibom Air, the lady that was supposedly ought to have been onboarded on her way to Lagos from Akwa Ibom, was found trying to have a way between the air mistresses, and she was being blocked, of course. Then she resorted to violence. She almost destroyed some amenities within the aircraft until she was dragged out of the aircraft. The video is already viral. So, in less than 24 hours of this particular lady's incidents, she was sentenced to courts. She was taken to the courts and sentenced to jail. She was reminded, as I speak right now, she's a Greek custody. A country, two citizens from different regions committed the same offense. It's already 72 hours. The other one is moving freely. The government is helping him to apologize. Whereas the lady that committed the crime, the related offense, just yesterday, in less than 24 hours, is already languishing in jail. That's the kind of country we are. A country where tribalism has eaten deep into the fabrics of the Nigerian people. And of course, we have Amechi, on the other hand, trying to fool himself, thinking he's fooling Nigerian youths. He came on X. Is it the first time I've seen someone coming on X? Mr. P.O.B. has opened the gateway to the Nigerian youths for public opinion. He started this X space interacting with the young people, seeking their opinion, what they feel about how a country should be governed, carrying them along in his political journey through the X space. They called him social media president, they call him all sorts of names. Given the result he was able to achieve for himself in the last 2023 general election, Amechi has now come to X space, where he said the Nigerian youths are docile, cannot take a responsible action for themselves to rescue themselves. He has now come to X space, trying to appeal to the young Nigerians, trying to galvanize the voice of the young people. And at a point, he got provoked that should he emerge as the ADC presidential candidate by whatever means, whoever come out to criticize him he will recruit 1,000 jobless Nigerian youths to abuse the hell out of the person. This is the kind of people that are parading themselves want to be ADC presidential candidates. Again, he went further to promise that he will end corruption in the space of 1 month. Haba. Can a man whose hands are dirty, whose hands are stained with red oil, be able to clean a white garment? It is impossible. Amechi was allegedly accused of sponsoring, he sponsored Muhammad Buhari's of late memory. The 2015 general election, he sponsored River State funds, allegedly, to see that APC overturned Goodluck Jonathan as at during the 2015 general election. The same Amechi that was made the Minister of Transportation, he abandoned the railway projects along the southern axis and focused on Katsina, Niger railway projects. The same Amechi is now coming back to tell Nigerian youths on how to rescue themselves. I found this very, very uncomfortable to believe that a person like Amechi will have the guts to come out trying to dictate to the Nigerian youths on how to rescue their country. This is unacceptable. As a matter of fact, Amechi should cover himself, his face in shame. The same Nigerian youth that you are calling for their votes, needing their votes, are the same Nigerian youths that you have the effrontery to come on X space, telling the same Nigerian youths again that you recruit 10,000 jobless Nigerian youths to criticize, to abuse whoever criticizes your emergence as ADC presidential tickets, flag bearer. To hell with ADC presidential ticket flag bearer. Is that the end of life? I mean, getting the ADC presidential ticket, candidacy ticket, is that the roadmap or the automatic ticket to Aso Rock? Even if it is, where is Buhari today? I mean, Nigerian politicians need to come out of their docility. They need to come out of this mindset that all ends within the circle of power. They should take out time to step aside, give way. The Nigerian youth are seeking for fresh air. We need fresh solution, not the same recycled set of leaders imposing themselves on the masses. Amechi is, from all indication, is autocratic. There is no any evidence, no any iota of democracy in him. As a matter of fact, I see him being worse than Tinubu. If given the power, he will abuse it completely. It is on this note that I'm calling on my guest in the studio to be part of this conversation. Whichever topic you feel comfortable to discuss, please feel free to unmute. P.O. has already said it, that he is not desperate, and that Nigerians that are supporting him are supporting themselves. This is how politicians that have no desperation in their mindset ought to speak. Let the power be unto the people, and let the people decide who they want to represent them. This idea of thinking maybe whoever wins the ADC presidential ticket is the automatic victory for 2027 is a lie. PWB was able to achieve whatever he achieved in 2023 in just 6 months. So who tells them that come 2027, there will be no another solution coming on the table of Nigerian people? Who knows tomorrow? If the same ADC that fails to honor a written agreement it has with Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, which is called them, if the same ADC fails to honor the agreements that have been documented, presented in a live show, in a live world press conference, the same ADC failed to honor it, telling government to go to hell. The same ADC is coming to claim that whoever emerges become automatic presidential material. No. The answer is no. The will of people must always supersede. So please unmute to have a discussion. Thank you. Comrade, are you there? Mr. Bonifo, whoever wants to have a contribution, please unmute and speak. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. The number one, Kwam1 and Kwam2. You know, fella Nikolakbo Kuti sang a song then. He said, "Na paddy government we do." You know, you see, this Wasiu Kwam1. President might decide not to say anything in his matter. The truth, all of us know the truth. It's like, I can say it's like his son, or it's like his son to the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know. So even if he's not saying anything, at least there are a lot of things that will be going on underground. You understand? So for somebody to have committed such offense, trying to hold on to a aeroplane, you know, a moving aeroplane. You know what that means? It's a very, it's a huge, you know, offense he have committed that's supposed to have landed him where, you know, he's supposed to be. Now, these people, they have decided to sweep this issue under the carpet because I don't think this government can do anything as far as Kwam1 is concerned. And that is how Nigeria is working today. That is why the people are coming up to say, no, this thing must be changed. We cannot continue to do things in the same old ways. You know, that is as that. Unlike maybe um, you know, human rights activists, people that really know what is up to take, to come up and begin to challenge the authority to do something, because somebody cannot commit this huge, you know, offense and go scot-free. You know, it has to be, you know, something has to be done. I know Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided to keep silent on this issue, and we know what he's playing. He's not ready to do. That's why they ask him to come and apologize and let it go. The other lady that was embarrassed in the play, I thought they asked her to put off a telephone. I mean, a handset or so, a handset, if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, she
Or
was asked to
asked
turn
to
on the phone.
turn off the handset, which she refused. And look at the offense actually. This one is even less, you know, just that she was like rude to the people, and there could have been a way to talk to handle this issue, you know, by dragging her in that manner, taking her to court and sentence her because she's a less, she don't have people in the government. Somebody that have people in the government that where they play moving plane. That one is, you know, that's why Nigeria is not working. People have to come up and see and begin to speak on these issues. Let justice prevail. This woman is not supposed to be taken immediately, you know, a kiri for not putting off a telephone. That is the truth. And the one that committed a huge offense is still moving freely on the street. That is the government we are, and all these things have to be corrected. If not, Nigeria cannot move forward with this game that is
Yes,
playing out.
you can see that Mr. Philip has prioritized key areas that is going to work on it within 4 years, and people are like, it's not possible. But then, where we are today is not the same place we were when Tinubu resumed office as at May 2029, 2024, 23. That's not where we are today. As a matter of fact, it has gone from bad to worse. Imagine the president of Argentina, he took over power 6 months after Tinubu administration. You can see how he has been able to revamp his economy, the economy of the country, how he has taken people out of poverty, how he has changed the economic trajectory of the country for good. So it is very possible. Aligning my thoughts in respect to the situation that is happening across the two different airports by two different individuals, having different measure of injustice and injustice meted out. Now look at it. Mr. Pidobi, as part of his cardinal points or agenda, he mentioned the rule of law. When there is rule of law, we don't need to even discuss this matter. The law will have taken its course. But because there is no law in Nigeria, so that's where we are today. Please, sorry for interjection. You can go.
You have said it all. There is no law. Law is not working in Nigeria. That's why Peter Obi continue to shout or begin to speak on, there could be, rule of law and all of that. If there is no law in a country, nothing will work out, nothing will work in that country. That is what is happening in Nigeria today. There is no law. If you know somebody and you commit an offense, you'll be set free. And somebody that does not know, I was in a court one day. In Ibadan. Somebody plucked, coconut from neighbor's compound, 10 pieces of coconut, and he was sent to prison. I was there. I was almost sharing tears. Coconut. If we were to be, people are there, people that still carrying all those things, some of them, they set them free. People carry gun and go about and rob people, kidnap and all of that. Some are still set free. Some, they will just keep them in the cell. In the night, they will ask them to go home. That is what is happening today. All these terrorists and all these terrorists that are rising everywhere, everyone looks at planning of this country today. So they used to set them free. That's why they are still moving. They are still coming up. They are increasing on a daily basis. There's no rule of law. Law is not working. So, see, the truth is that there is no, among all these people that are recycling themselves today, I'm just looking at them. That's why I keep saying, I said this a better Nigeria we are aiming to have today. The people that are recycling themselves, those corrupt politicians, they are still the same people that are there. Even this same ADC we are talking about, they are the same people. Look at Amachi today. Amachi is still coming out to say his name is listed among the corrupt politicians in Nigeria. I will search for it. I will bring it up. His name is there, and he's still coming out today. He want to claim to be a saint. He want to begin to say he want to end corrupt. If somebody that is corrupt want to end corruption. Eh? It's just
A
like
man
if you say
who cannot
thief want to go thief want to go and hunt for thief. You know what that means. So all these things, they are just playing these things. They just want to adjust power and all of that, and begin to play the same game they have been playing over the years. That's the way I'm just seeing it, my brother. So thank you
of
very
course.
much.
Thank you for that contribution. Mr. Pidobi has made it clear. If a president is not stealing, the president is not stealing, his wife is not stealing, or his wives are not stealing, his children are not stealing, he has solved the case of corruption by 50%. And that's the truth, that's a fact. The impact of having a leader that is not stealing alone, that impact alone, aside from the funds that Nigerian presidents and their family siphon, apart from that, having that leader alone that is not stealing, we go a long way to correct a lot of bad notion of the followers. And they will not also steal because they know the guy at the top is not stealing. So please, the mic is still open and we welcome a contribution. This is Kwam1 People's Parliament. It's your parliament and we expect you to take charge of the narrative of the discussion that are taking place in the studio. We've already introduced the topics of the day. You are at liberty to stick to whichever one you want to discuss. Peter Obi has said it that Nigerians that are campaigning for him, rallying for him up and down across the country and beyond, that they are not helping him, they are helping themselves. They are campaigning for themselves. Mr. John Agonifo, if you are available, what's your reaction to this comment by Mr. Peter Obi?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Christian Ako, and good evening.
Good evening, sir.
In the parliament. Yes, I've been listening to the conversation. Honestly, he has some interesting topics this evening for discussion. Peter Obi is not very far from the truth. Why did I say so? Now, there's a trajectory of his say in governance, his performance, and how he relates to people. You know, that is totally missing in government today and in the way governance is conducted in Nigeria today. You know, so people want a replication of what they have seen Mr. Peter Obi done in Anambra State. They want him to replicate it in the project Nigeria. You know, in governing people, there must be a human face. There must be identification with critical sectors. You know, you must understand what the economy expects and what the economy says. There are so many factors that go into governance. You know, Peter Obi, beyond his emotional attachment to the people and his empathy, has the experience to be able to function practically in any management office today, as we have seen in what he has done in Anambra State. So Mr. Peter Obi perception or concept of saying that people's agitation for governance, for him to come into governance, is them to try to speak for themselves, trying to help themselves, is quite true, because by the time he comes in, if as a non-government actor is able to, we can see what he has done in the last 1-2 years after the presidential election, where he contested and was not declared the winner. We have seen how much he has gone around the country trying to help humanity. You know, so if you can do this as a private citizen, then you can now imagine what will happen if he has government resources at his disposal to cater for the people. So the man is not wrong in his assertion. I will say that about that. I also want to talk briefly on the episode of today's parliament, which is Kwam1 Kwam2, same country, same offenses, different punishment. You know, it goes to show the level of double standard that we currently have in the present system, which is very, very appalling. You know, I don't know. Mr. Sunday was trying to also give some example of somebody who stole coconut and was sentenced to jail. While you have the real armed robbers out there, you know, parading themselves and some even displaying their wealth on social media. We have some of these kidnappers displaying their ransom on social media, and nothing has been done. You know, to that extent, you know, it can be very, 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 very discouraged to say that, is this really a country governed by people? You know, my brother. If you want to begin to talk about these things, well, the more you talk about these things, I don't know what English to use now. The more you feel so very bad that you're a citizen of this country. Anyway, I will mention that too. I want to also speak briefly on Amici and speak to this is statement that he will end corruption in 1 month. You see, for me, that is a little bit laughable, quite laughable indeed. You know, because corruption is not something you just pick from here and place there. No, this is a systematic problem. You know, this is a system that a problem that has eaten deep into the fabric of the system. So you need a complete orientation, a complete orientation of the people, orientation of the system, a complete different approach. You know, you need to totally redefine the lifestyle, and you cannot do all of that in 1 month now. Let us be realistic. Is it?
You can't even achieve it as an armor by yourself.
Ah,
You know, you
yes,
have to be the same example. There have to be semblance of character that is
you
worthy before you can talk about ending corruption. Not that it's a corrupt individual coming to national platform say you want to end corruption. How?
in 1 month, it's very laughable. You know, if people get so desperate and begin to promise what they cannot do just in a bid to grab power, and at the end of the day, if you are given this opportunity now, and we see something different, you now begin to say you did not say so, or you now begin to find a way of turning it to quarrel with the generality of the people. I think we should begin to see governance as serious business in this country. We should begin to see governance as a responsibility to the people, so that when you come into office, you try to see yourself as you owe the people a responsibility to add value to their life, add value to what they are doing, add value to the economy, so that everybody can align in that direction, and see how we can actually make Nigeria, make this concept of having a new Nigeria possible. It has to be a serious business, and we have to be serious about it. You see, when I look at politicians, they all look like jokers, and you now begin to wonder: is it really possible to get Nigeria that will work with all of this kind of thinking and all this kind of concept and all this kind of desperation? You know, so people should be able to go to the drawing board and convince people that if I come into power, these are the things that I will do, workable things that I will do. You see, when Peter Obi talk to you, beyond giving you example, he give you references of countries that have done it before, countries that it has worked for. You just mentioned Argentina. Now, Argentina president has just been there for just 2 years, and people have seen the difference. This thing is not rocket science. It's just a question of seriousness in concept and seriousness in approach. You know, I think it's high time that we begin to take governance as a very serious business in this country. Thank you, Mr. Ako, for this privilege to speak. Thank you.
Thank you for that somewhat summative evaluation of most of the topics we have for tonight. In case you want to be part of the conversation, you can please unmute and speak. And if you are joining us, probably watching us via YouTube, you can call this number 0806255790. Again, 0806255790. That's the number you can call to be part of the discussion in the studio. Do we still have more contribution here this Zoom? Do we have someone who still want to hear his or her view in respect to the topics that have been highlighted for tonight?
Let me just add to, let me just buttress, the wonderful submission of number 3. Nigerians campaigning for me are campaigning for themselves. See, that is the simple truth. We all are campaigning for ourselves. Because me as a person now, I was in PDP when Mr. Peter Obi was in PDP. He left PDP. He left before me. A week after I left PDP. Because I know his character, I know what he can do. I'll be following him. I want to be like him. I know that man have integrity so much. Even sometimes when I'm discussing with my wife, I'm only coming into politics. I want to be like Peter Obi. He's not corrupt. Nobody is a saint. He also said this. But let me say he's less corrupt. You cannot compare Peter Obi to all these politicians you are seeing. I have studied that man over the years. I have studied him. That is why I decided to say, let me come, to behave, to do all those things Peter Obi is talking about. I want to also practice it. I want to do it. I'm not interested in corruption as a person. You understand? If, like as he used to say, that if he did not steal, nobody under his cabinet can steal. In our in the government today, if maybe you are giving a contract out to a contractor will say, okay, how much will I add for you, sir? They will start from the secretary. That one will say, okay, make it 2 million. If you move up, that one will say, okay, how much did they say you should make it? Say 2 million. Okay, make it 4. So if the head is not corrupt, others will not corrupt. You begin to check them. So that is the kind of person Peter Obi is. You cannot compare him to all these people that are recycling themselves, that are coming up and say they want to hijack power. Somebody is coming to say, I will end corruption in 1 month. Eh? A thief want to catch thief. So let's be sincere. Let's be sincere to ourselves now. So that is the truth. Peter Obi is a different person among all these people. Is the person that is gingering us to come and say, okay, we are interested in politics. So that is the truth. If he's not there today, even myself, I would not even like to be. I would not like to continue this race. Most of us are into. That's the truth. I'm telling you, my brother. So don't let anybody. No, we will not allow anybody to deceive us. We will not allow anybody to come and hijack power. So I'll continue to suffer for many years again. We want to get it right this time, and I pray God will help us to get it right. Thank
Yes,
you.
we are definitely focused on getting it right. And that's why Kwam did not allow herself to be demoralized by the political buccaneers, the political criminals that have come to hijack the ADC. And it is only shameful on the part of the ADC leadership that they could not be able to honor an MOU. She entered the face of the world. If you cannot honor an MOU with a single organization, Kwam, how can you honor an MOU with the entirety of Nigeria? It's not possible. So we are still at the stage of public opinion. You see the last headline, Kwam drags ADC to the court of public opinion. Let me highlight some of them. In the MOU, it was agreed that Kwam go ahead, take charge of Directorate of Mobilization, civil societies, and progressive engagement. Bring in the civil society group, bring in all your supporters, all your members, mobilize well-meaning Nigerians to join our party. We will give you 5 slots each from national down to world. That was the promise in the MOU. And upon this MOU agreement, Kwam swung into action, bought 30,000 cards, membership cards, distributed waybill across the country, mobilized our members from the world to LGA, to states across the federation. As a matter of fact, to make it a ridicule, Kwam, on behalf of ADC, invited Kwam chairman to the next meeting, where 51 individuals were presented as the NEC members. I mean, as the NWC executives. But they never found Kwam worthy to even be part of one out of the 51. Whereas there's an MOU that has been activated into a contract because Kwam has played their own parts. Kwam went as far as renting offices for ADC, production of banners for ADC, mobilization of members for ADC, setting up polling units, ward executive, local government executive, state executive, nationwide. And the best that the former ADC national chairman can say to Kwam is, go to hell. I mean, This injustice cannot stand. You cannot cheat people who are sweat, putting labor sacrificially with their resources, with their energy to build a party that have enjoyed the acceptance of the Nigerian people by virtue of seeing an organization like Kwam1 being part of ADC. It was accepted that Kwam1 was doing something new in ADC. And Kwam1 idea of joining political party is simple: to create a political platform where a son of a nobody can be able to have political aspiration. Wanting to become a governor of their state, there should be a platform reserved for the average masses. That's the whole lot of reason why Kwam1 went into a coalition. Everything signed, documented, and all that. But today, the political buccaneers, the political scavengers, the political hijackers, they've hijacked the ADC and they have thrown Kwam1 aside. So if tomorrow, for instance, Kwam1 felt cheated and decided to go to court, will you see the fault of Kwam1 having exhausted all the internal options? I leave this to Nigerians to decide. Do we have more contribution on this matter before we wrap up tonight's program? Do we have more contribution?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You see, Mr. Ako, due process, like you have said now, like you said right now, if you really trace it back, this problem started with the INEC. If INEC agreed to register a new political party at that time, I don't think we will not be where we are today. INEC decided to say they are not going to register any new political party. It's like they are just reconsidering now, okay, we want to start discussing it now, see how it will go. But be that as it may, we have come to ADC. ADC is our party today. There's no doubt about that. And MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, have been signed by the two parties, Kwam1 and the ADC. If the ADC is saying that Kwam1 should go to hell, or they did not recognize Kwam1 at this time, that is the injustice we are talking about, and it can never be sustained. Kwam1 will not have other option than to take them to court. Let them come and explain. But I know we are going to get there because I believe there's still going to be other negotiation between them. If the negotiation, the dialogue is not working, no any other option, my brother, is to go to court, because we must regain our position back. We have been working so hard, we have been working tirelessly to make sure all wards and local government are intact. We are building up people. A lot of us are spending our money. You cannot just come because they just install you as interim. Even you that the INEC have not even recognized. You are now saying you don't even know us. The former national chairman said does not know you, and we too don't know you. So it doesn't work like that, my brother. So ADC said this, whether the past chairman or present chairman, as far as it has been documented and signed by the both parties, they cannot escape that in the court of law. Although we have said it before, law is not working in Nigeria, but this one is our right. We must fight it and get justice.
Yes,
That is
sir.
the truth.
Yes, sir. We must fight and get justice. ADC cannot get away with this injustice. You know, there's always a song that we must always fight for our right. Holy, 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 solidarity forever.
Forever, solidarity forever.
Solidarity
Solidarity
forever.
forever. We must always fight for right.
Right. Yes. We shall always fight
People,
for our rights, and we shall not give up on this injustice. That will be the end for tonight's show. Thank you for being part of the program. I'll see you same time tomorrow by 7 p.m. From me in the studio, I remain Mr. Akko Christian Oche, otherwise known as G Process. Thank you for being part, and God bless you. Thank you, comrade. Sunday Edegbe, thank you, Mr. John Agbonifo from Edo State. Thank you all.
thank you very
Listeners,
much.
we thank you for joining us, and God
Good
bless you
night.
all.
Mr. Bonifo, good night.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Jacob Aliu. Thank you. I see your comments. Thank you, and God bless you. I don't know, would you want to have a contribution before we wrap up the program? Would you? Comrade Aliu, would you want to have a comment, please? All right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you. Maybe another time we'll be expecting to hear from you and have your contribution. From me, it's good night and have a lovely night rest. Bye-bye.